All right. Welcome, everybody. Let's get right into this episode. This is the Cavs draft preview. Um, yeah, let's get right into this Buckeye banter. Welcome to Buckeye Banter, Sports in the OH. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. All right. So, Cavs draft tonight. Number 5. Let's go first off. Let's just assume that the 3 players will not be on the board in Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, and James Wiseman. I think that's a pretty safe assumption, but let's also go with this assumption. If Edwards or Wiseman, I think, in my opinion, are available, the Cavs are likely to take either one of them. LaMelo, I think they're probably going to be working the phones pretty hard, and I seriously find it hard to believe that he'll get that far. But if somehow he drops to them, look for them to probably trade out of that spot. I still think it's a possibility, no matter what, that the Cavs might try to trade down. I won't be surprised by that at all. I think this draft has the Cavs with a lot of options, which is a good thing. But they need to fill a lot of spots with talented players. And if, trading down helps you get a couple, this draft seems like most people are saying that this draft has got a lot of depth, but not a lot of stars. And I think that 5 is a bad spot to be in that regard. So unless they really love somebody, I won't be surprised if someone else does slip down that they would trade down out of it. As far as who's being kind of earmarked in that 5 spot, should they stay? I think that the assumption is also that Deni Avdija, I think is how you say his name, from Maccabi Tel Aviv, the Israeli player, is probably going to go 4th to the Bulls. That's what most people suspect. If not, he'll definitely be high in the Cavs consideration. I think they're looking for a wing. He is that for sure. He's got that intrigue of that international playmaker, especially with some of the recent success that some of these guys have had. I don't think he's a Luka Doncic, but that's what the people are looking at. It's like, oh, he could be. I don't think he's quite there, but that intrigue is going to be decent at the 5. Other players who are in play at the 5 spot, I think are going to be Devin Vassell, Patrick Williams. So Vassell is out of Florida State, also a wing. Patrick Williams, freshman, also at Florida State. And the top ones that people are saying are Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin. I'm not sure exactly if it's Toppin or Toppin. Out of Dayton. Isaac Okoro out of Auburn. Also, those are both wings as well. Although some will say Toppin, Obi Toppin is a big. I guess he is 6'11", so he's probably an athletic big, a floor running big. We're gonna talk about him a little bit more in a second. The last one, who I think is one to definitely look out for, the Cavs in recent history have liked to surprise, and I won't be surprised if they look at Onyeka Okongwu. He's been moving up everybody's boards. He's got a lot of that Bam Adebayo kind of idea that is big right now in the league, as far as a big who can run the floor, who's got a lot of versatility, defends, scores. So yeah, I would, to me, that's not going to be the shocker that doesn't shock me. Like, he's not expected to go that high, but if they stick there, he's the sort of player that to me feels like he's got a lot of potential for them in the need area as well. assuming they aren't bringing back Tristan. Maybe they are, but you know, Drummond is most likely only here for this 1 year on this uh, 28 million option that he's expected to trigger. So I think that there's a good possibility there. Um, Now, could they trade back a few spots if someone wants to move up and maybe pick up another later pick in the first round? That'd be awesome because I think a lot of these guys are going to be around. Obviously, if they go back even as far as, 12, 13, 14, they're still going to have one of these guys that we just talked about available. Now, again, at the 5, who do I expect them to take? Assuming that in some fashion, Edwards, LaMelo, Advija, and Wiseman go 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll give you my projection for the draft. I think it's going to be, assuming no trades, I think it's going to be Edwards 1, Wiseman 2, LaMelo 3 to the Hornets, and Advija 4 to the Bulls. So that's my gut on this thing. So it'd be Edwards 1 to the T Wolves and Wiseman 2 to the Warriors, which doesn't even seem fair, but that's where we're at in this world right now. So that brings to the Cavs the option to have a lot of these wings available, or like I said, a player like Onyekwa Okongwu. I'm not sure. To me, I think they come down to 3 players. Again, assuming all of those guys are gone, maybe 4. Um, so I think if those guys are gone, the decision comes down to Devin Vassell. Let's say 4. Okongwu, Isaac Okoro, and Obi Toppin. my my gut tells me that everyone's saying Obi Toppin, so it's not going to be him. The Cavs have rarely taken the player that everyone thinks they're going to take. I also feel like he's not really fitting with what the league is doing. Doesn't have much of an outside shot, and is not known for playing much defense. And the Caps really need defense. To me, that's why I see either Okoro, Okongwu, or Devin Vassell as the more likely pick. Again, if they stay pat, I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb. I'm going to say they're going to take Okongwu. Um, like I said, they'd like to surprise people lately. I think he's a player who could give them a lot. I think that my second guess, if I had to say, would be probably Okoro. Um, Even though Vassell is right there, I think they're the two of them are right there. But I think Okoro maybe gets a slight edge over Vassell. So we'll see what happens tonight. Barring some other trades. Now, again, what I would think would be awesome is if the Cavs could bump down 4 or 5 picks and still get Okongwu or Okoro, because I think they could. Gosh, they could probably still get Toppin. I don't think a lot of other people are going to put them as valuable as it seems like the Cavs maybe are. So, and then later on, if they could get another pick later in this same round, there's still a lot of players who could help them out. Some guys like, depending on who they went with first, like this guy Precious Achiuwa out of Memphis, who's a big. Um, there's a number of players later on in this draft that could still contribute. Saddiq Bey could potentially be one to look for later in the draft. Not guys you're going to take 5, but if you were able to switch that 5 into 2 picks and still get one of these guys you were already thinking about and potentially later on pick up a Saddiq Bey or someone like that, I think you got to really consider that possibility. So let's see what happens. This Cavs team is at a point where they're wanting to make the turn on this rebuild, and so this is a pretty crucial draft for that. Um, so yeah, let's see what happens in this draft. Um, I think they've got 5 picks um, in the draft, if I remember correctly, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I might be wrong on that. I'm gonna confirm, but I think that there's a lot of possibility for them to fill some needs, um, and that's right now. There's a lot of needs. So um, we'll see what happens. I don't know. Uh, my gut tells me that they would like to trade out, but I don't know that that's going to happen. So we'll see um, if they can or not. Um, yeah, I just don't know. So I'm looking now to confirm. It looks like maybe they only have it looks like no, they only have one pick. So I apologize. I'm not sure where I got that from. They got one pick, number 5, and that's it. So if they could turn that into something else, you know, get a couple picks, that would be helpful. So we'll see what happens. The Knicks just made a move to move up a little bit, so they're obviously looking to get into some of that depth um, of this draft. So yeah. Um, anyways, I hope you like this video, subscribe, share. We'll keeping you updated on all things sports in Ohio, and we're still planning on doing some Indians trade analysis here soon, and some continuing to do Browns previews and Buckeye previews, as well as reviews. So we'll also do a draft recap following the draft and start talking about what else the Cavs might be doing this off season. So like, follow, subscribe, share it with your friends. Be great. Appreciate all of y'all. Have a good one, and let's see what the Cavs can do for us tonight in this draft. Hopefully, someone exciting who can keep this thing going.